All right, let's start with the first bit of news here, and that is, yes, not just Robert Saleh, but more 49er coaches could be on the move as we keep looking at what is going to be a very interesting offseason for San Francisco. As we know, Robert Saleh, he's interviewed for multiple head coaching jobs, and my guess is, and I said this a couple days ago, he's probably going to interview for each of the 5 head coach openings right now in the National Football League. But there's also some hints that there could be some other lesser-known coaches on the 49er coaching staff to go ahead and leave. Like Raheem Morris could be targeting like a Mike McDaniel as the offensive coordinator if Raheem Morris is hired somewhere else besides Atlanta. There's also some thoughts that maybe Mike LaFleur could be poached as an offensive coordinator with potentially a Robert Saleh team overall. Here's the full list of 49er staff members that we're hearing potentially could be getting better job offers. Of course, Robert Saleh, number one. Adam Peters, the VP of Player Personnel, he's been interviewed by multiple teams for a possible GM position. And you got Mike McDaniel, their run game coordinator right now, possibly for an offensive coordinator position elsewhere. And Mike LaFleur, brother of Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, he got a lot of interest last offseason, stayed in San Francisco, and apparently there are some teams that are interested in making him an offensive coordinator in the National Football League. Doesn't mean all will leave, but if Robert Saleh leaves, he could try to take a couple of these coaches with him wherever he lands in terms of his next head coaching gig. As we mentioned, there's a couple of spots open right now in the National Football League. Currently, there are 5: the Falcons, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Detroit Lions, the Los Angeles Chargers, and then you can also throw in the Houston Texans right now. The Texans have not officially said they're considering Robert Saleh, but I would argue they're probably going to go ahead and interview him because they want to do their due diligence, and Saleh is the hot candidate right now in the National Football League. Jacksonville already looking like they're going to go ahead and do it. Detroit is going to be added to that list as well. But there are quite a few football teams that are going to look not only for Robert Saleh, but then, I mean, honestly, like we just said, could be looking to poach some of the other 49er coaches, which means San Francisco's got to go ahead and, potentially be looking for some different types of coordinators, where it's a run game coordinator, a passing game coordinator, whatever it is overall. But what we need to understand is this is what happens to good football teams. It shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody who has followed the National Football League the past couple of years. When you have a good football team with a good GM and a good head coach, eventually other teams are going to figure out that your team has it figured out, meaning they want to go ahead and poach away some of your good coordinators because they might know the secret sauce that San Francisco, of course, knew so well last year to get them into the Super Bowl. The question then becomes, can the 49ers go ahead and rebuild the coaching staff if they were to lose multiple people? And it looks like Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are already trying to convince some people that the Bay Area is a great place to go ahead and move to. Here's what they said on the Shannon Plan podcast regarding the 49ers and possibly getting some new coaches. Quote, they know they're going to lose some coaches. And they got to backfill those positions. So now they've got to convince someone else from a different team to eventually come to join the 49ers and leave their current situation. They got to sell the Bay Area, and I thought it was a great sales pitch. They started it right now, which is intelligent. Again, this goes back to the joint press conference that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch had a couple days ago, where they kind of pitched to people like, hey, it's great to live in the Bay Area. It's a great team to go ahead and work for, and you should come work for it too, was their pitch. So, trying to get those new coordinators to go ahead and come to positions that are not open yet, like the passing game coordinator, the run game coordinator, but very well could be openings here over the next couple of weeks and months, because Saleh seems to be the first domino that's going to fall, and he might take some coordinators with him for better positions. I mean, this is like classic, if you get a better job offer and it's going to work out better and you get paid more, it's what you want to do, then why would you not leave, even though the 49ers want them to go ahead and stay? I'm not necessarily worried about losing key coaches. I've already accepted that Robert Saleh is going to leave. We talked about that in a video earlier this week, but I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know down below in the comment section. Are you worried about losing some key coordinators in different positions this offseason? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. I want to hear from you guys on this one. A lot of people saying yes. Yeah, okay, so a lot of people are worried. I mean, I am, because these are good coordinators, but I think the meat and potatoes of this entire offense, and really the defense too, has been Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, and they're staying. And so I feel pretty good about that overall. But again, let me know what you guys think down below right now in the comment section. All right, let's move on to this little bit of news that I was looking at over the past, 2 days, I think, and that is the Trent Williams contract situation, which is going to be probably the biggest offseason contract situation of the entire 2021 year for the 49ers. So, of course, he is a free agent this offseason, although apparently ESPN's Jeremy Fowler has reported that they are working on an extension, and so a lot of people don't think he's going to make it to free agency as one of the better left tackles in the National Football League. But my question is, would Trent Williams be willing to take somewhat of a a little team discount in order for the Niners to go ahead, not only re-sign him, make him the starting left tackle as he was this year, but then also have some extra room to maybe sign some other key free agents. Talk more about those here in just 1 second. So ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, one of their good reporters, had this to tweet the other day when he said, quote, the 49ers and Pro Bowl left tackle Trent Williams had extension discussions last week on a contract extension per source. Doing something before week 17 would have helped San Francisco's salary cap. It didn't happen. An elite tackle could hit free agency, but San Francisco is clearly prioritizing Williams. And so that kind of gets you to say, okay, they couldn't get a deal done. It's a little bit worrisome. However, as they said in the Shannon Plan podcast the other day, or excuse me, actually it was on it was Trent Williams speaking to the media. Trent Williams was asked straight up if he would be willing to take a discount. And he didn't say yes, but he didn't really say no. Look at this. I don't know if discount might be the right word, but as far as the payout, you can compromise with that. You can defer. There's so many different ways to create a contract fit. It's not just the bottom line. Again, that was an answer straight up on Trent, which discount if the Niners wanted to go ahead and re-sign you, and you didn't say no. So potentially there could be a little discount there where they backload a contract, the way they free up some money to go ahead and re-sign the massive list of free agents we'll talk about here in a second that the team has going forward in 2021. They have a bunch of players that they need to go ahead and figure out and re-sign, because it is going to be a fascinating offseason to see which ones they want to keep, which ones they want to let go, and how they want to work the cap. I don't really envy GM John Lynch and his job this offseason because it is absolutely brutal. I mentioned that Trent Williams is probably their most important offseason free agent in terms of internally, but they got a bunch of other big ones. We talked about Richard Sherman, Kyle Juszczyk, K'Wan Williams. Kerry Hyder was their leading sack guy with 7.5 sacks this year. They're throwing guys like Jason Verrett, Ronald Blair, Solomon Thomas, Tevin Coleman, Emmanuel Mosley. That's just the Big Ten. I mean, there are probably 10 other free agents internally, at least 15 total, where they need to go ahead and think about and figure out who they want to go ahead and re-sign. And I think it starts with Trent Williams. Looks like they're already discussing contract details with Trent Williams, but this is going to go ahead and be the first, I think, domino to fall that could lead into really showing us how many of their own free agents they want to go ahead and get into re-signing here as the offseason officially is underway, and we'll start re-signing these players here pretty darn soon. You've seen my list of 10. Maybe I missed somebody. There are a lot of internal free agents this year. Who is the 49ers' most important in-house free agent? Let me know down below. Watching this later, there'll be a pinned comment down below. Go down to that and tell me who the most important 49er free agent is down below in the comments section right now, because I think it's Trent Williams, possibly Richard Sherman, but it's got to be somebody. And so let me know what you guys think right now down below in the comments section. And while we're at it, make sure you guys are subscribed to the 49ers Report, because upcoming, I'm going to do a full-on list video of all 49er in-house free agents, tell you which ones I think they should keep, which ones I think they should let you go. We do a ton of great videos like that here in the offseason, and that one, I'm telling you, a little preview is coming up in the next couple of days and weeks. So make sure you're subscribed where you don't miss any of the latest videos, and you don't miss any of the live Q&As like we're doing right now to hundreds of people watching right now, so keep an eye on the comments here on my cell phone. Okay, let's move over here to Stephon Gilmore news, and that was something we talked about earlier on in this show, and that is that Stephon Gilmore is one of the, I think, ideal trade candidates that Bleacher Report put out there for the 49ers to go ahead and do this offseason. They essentially gave you 6 players and said, where should they go ahead and be traded to? And Stephon Gilmore landed on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the reason is, of course, we all know, basically every single cornerback on the 49ers in 2020 is a free agent in 2021. And the Niners have, I don't think a plan to keep everybody. They want to keep some of them. We don't know which ones they will go ahead and be. But this would be, to me, a fascinating trade that could make the 49er defense even better than it already is. Here's Bleacher Report's trade idea, which would, of course, send Gilmore to the 49ers and a second-round draft pick to the Patriots, which, looking right up, it's like, hey, that's not bad overall. And I talked a lot about how I think cornerback is one of the bigger needs for the 49ers this year. Would you guys do it? Honestly, for a second, I feel pretty good about this one overall. The question is, how much are we going to have to keep paying Stephon Gilmore? He's one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the National Football League, but it's pretty darn worth it. Type A if you guys would accept this trade down below in the comment section. Type D down below if you would be like, decline, don't want to do it. Again, he's one of the better cornerbacks. I think he might want out of New England. He's a little bit older, but draft pick is not bad overall. Some people saying A. Yeah, a lot of people saying A. Yes, please, says 49ers fan. Big fan of that one. Okay, well, there you go. Bleacher Report recommended it. Now, potentially, it could have maybe even happened. I think Stephon Gilmore, as we know, besides Jalen Ramsey, is probably the number 2 cornerback in the National Football League. The 2020 stats aren't what they were in 2019 when he was Defensive Player of the Year. I think they can make the argument he had no real good players around him. The Patriots had like a bunch of players opt out, and most of them were in the secondary. Gilmore was like the only guy out there. But I think he still is one of the elite corners of the National Football League, and definitely, I would say, would make the Niners better than where they're at right now. Can you imagine if they trade for Stephon Gilmore and then re-signed either Richard Sherman or Jason Verrett? To me, that makes this current depth chart look even better. And again, this is the current depth chart as it stands, but basically every single one of these players is a free agent. Look at the stars, right? I mean, everybody is a free agent. They're going to re-sign some of these players. The question just really is, which of the players are they going to go ahead and re-sign? And maybe trading for a cornerback can go ahead and influence their idea of which ones are more important than other ones. Okay, quickly here, I want to go ahead and jump in with our friends at BetUS and what they're looking at in terms of a great offseason of betting and a great NFL postseason to go ahead and jump on some crazy bets. Go to chatsports.com/49bet. Use that promo code Niners125 and go ahead and get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. This is the website I am using for all of my wild card bets. And here are my 3 picks for the NFC wild card this weekend. It's going to be crazy. Give me Seattle -3.5 versus the Rams there. To me, way stronger than the Rams, who are struggling to even just limp into the postseason. The Bucs -9 over Washington. Yes, I think Tampa Bay is going to roll in his first ever wild card game in 21 years in the National Football League. And the Bears, I don't think they beat the Saints, but +10 versus the New Orleans Saints. Give me the Bears to cover here. It's going to be a one-score game. Chicago's playing a lot better football than a lot of people are giving them credit for overall. Now, you guys want a shout out on this coming Monday's 49er Report video? An easy way to do that and to get your name on that video is to email us your 3 wildcard weekend picks. If you go 3-0, we're going to shout out to start Monday's video here in just a couple days. Monday, of course, is just the other day away. Email us 49ers@chatsports.com right now, your 3 wildcard locks of the weekend. If you get all 3 right, again, we'll go through all the emails and go ahead and essentially give you guys a shout out on Monday. You also have any betting questions? You want to get in on the action at BetUS, you can always email 49ers@chatsports.com and we'll answer any betting questions you guys could possibly have. Okay, we mentioned earlier that John Lynch is one of the finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let's bring up that graphic right now, as he, of course, is one of the better safeties we've seen the past couple of years, but he's on a list with a lot of very good players overall. And we'll show you the list here in just a little bit. No Bryant Young, no Patrick Willis, 2 other 49ers who would have been eligible this year. We make an argument they were snubbed, although I think the list that you guys are going to see is stacked. I mean, a lot of really good players who made the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist list. There is no official number of how many they're going to go ahead and put in the Hall. Normally it's like between 6 and 8, but I feel really good about John Lynch's chances of going ahead and making the Hall of Fame this time here in 2021. Of course, the finalists will be announced here over the next couple of months. First off, as we said earlier, smash the like button right now if you guys think John Lynch is a Hall of Famer and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame this year. If he doesn't get in this year, he will for sure next year, in my opinion. But I think he deserves to go ahead and get in this year. Give this video a thumbs up right now, as we have a ton of people watching. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys, but I would want to know, if you guys think John Lynch should be a Hall of Famer, smash that like button right now. Again, there's 15 people who were selected. I'm not going to give you the full list here. Here's my prediction. I think Peyton Manning for sure. Megatron, he's got to go in. Charles Woodson, I mean, these 3 are absolute no-brainers. I think John Lynch goes ahead and gets in as well. Sam Mills and Alan Faneca, because they can't just put all of the star players that I grew up loving. They got to give some of the older guys love there as well. But I think it's going to be between 6 and 8 overall are who makes the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think John Lynch for sure has to be in there. The problem is I'm very excited about the Pro Football Hall of Fame selection, with John Lynch being in there. But I'm focused on John Lynch, the GM. We mentioned earlier, John Lynch has his work cut out for him. He's got a bunch of in-house free agents. He's got a bunch of aging stars he needs to decide what their future is in San Francisco. And he's got to figure out an NFL draft that is an interesting draft and a loaded draft, but the Niners are kind of sitting there at number 12 with trade back options or trade up options. They have a quarterback situation to figure out. So while I am all for John Lynch going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it has no impact to me on the offseason the Niners are going to have, I'm just a little bit more interested in what he's going to do as a GM right now, because that's the current impact that, of course, we have in San Francisco. Okay, the question I keep getting asked in the comments section, let's just go and discuss the news today, the big news of the day, and that is Deshaun Watson. How about that? You guys want to talk about Deshaun Watson? Let's do it right now. So, Washington posted a cryptic tweet after they went ahead and signed Nick Cassiero as their new GM. Didn't seem like he liked the idea. And as we know, the Texans have been a dumpster fire the past couple of years. And the report comes out saying Deshaun Watson potentially wants to trade out of Houston. Houston, of course, no first-round draft pick, no second-round draft pick in 2021. They could get probably a king's ransom for Deshaun Watson. And so, for the Niners being essentially a team without a quarterback, even though Kyle Shanahan keeps backing Jimmy Garoppolo. All the Niner fans, and especially you guys in the chat right now, are going crazy for Deshaun Watson rumors right now. And so first, let's start with the tweet that started it all. He said this: "Some things never change." Now, this might have been not an NFL-related tweet. What I have read, it could have been related towards some political stuff, which we're not going to talk about on the show, but towards the political things that happened over the past couple of days. But it could be about the fact that he's not happy with the new GM in Houston. I think overall, regardless of the tweet, Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston because this is a guy who is, as good as it gets in terms of young quarterbacks in the National Football League. However, he's on a football team completely devoid of talent, devoid of leadership, and it feels like him and J.J. Watt are barely holding up what has been a sinking ship in the Houston Texans organization overall. The problem I have right now is, what do you have to give up to get Deshaun Watson? We're talking about trading for one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. Look at these numbers. It's going to take multiple first-round draft picks. Like a ton of first-round draft picks. And so I am a little worried about the price overall, but listen, if you're John Lynch, why not at least make a phone call? And that's where I'm at right now. Why not at least pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, Houston, I know you gave away DeAndre Hopkins for like nothing. You want to give away Deshaun Watson for nothing?" But I will say this. I have no doubt that they would try to go ahead and get the sun, moon, and stars for Deshaun Watson. They gave away Hopkins for pennies in the dollar. They would not do that again for their franchise quarterback. I don't think he's going to be traded, honestly, but the rumors are out there, and so we got to go ahead and mention it. Give me a trade package right now that you would do for Deshaun Watson. I don't even know if 2 firsts would be enough, honestly. I think I had to take a player, multiple first-round draft picks. It would be very expensive. But I want to hear your guys' trade package right now down below in the comment section. Final bit of news here. We got a lot of news overall here in the 49ers report. Let's go ahead and get into Zach Wilson on his interview on BYU TV, a local, a college student campus TV interview, where he was asked, "What's the best fit for you in the National Football League draft?" And he says, "Guess what? We're talking about San Francisco 49ers." He thinks it'd be really a perfect marriage between him, his play style, and Kyle Shanahan. We'll read the comment to you here in just 1 second. Can he fall to number 12? I think he would have to. I think he's going to go into the top 10, and so the odds of him being there aren't that great. But it does kind of make you wonder, does Zach Wilson, maybe force his way to San Francisco? Like the idea of the Niners trading up? Here's what he told BYU TV, quote, "I haven't watched a ton of specifics with NFL teams as far as what offenses they run. One off the top of my head is the 49ers, because I'm very familiar with what Kyle Shanahan does and the system that they play in place, or they have in place. I think I'd fit in well there." So take with that as you will. This is a guy who was basically a nobody a couple years ago in college football, throws 43 touchdowns in this season at BYU and gets a lot of people interested. Some people say he's the second best quarterback. Some people say he's the third best quarterback in this draft. I like Zach Wilson. I'm not sure I'm crazy about Zach Wilson, but the question really is he going to be there at 12? And if he is, will the Niners go ahead and sign him? I'm actually curious about this. If he is available at 12, would you take him? Like 1 for yes, 2 for no right now in the chat. If he was there at 12, I don't think he will be, but if he was there at 12, let me know what you guys would think down below right now in the comment section. There's a lot of comments are still pouring in here. Zach Wilson, I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm going to leave this one up to you guys because I am torn on this, but let me know what you guys think down below right now.